Joining me now on the Friday Spotlight program here on KSJE is the music director of the San Juan Symphony, Thomas Heuser, who is joining us via Skype this morning from his home in Durango, Colorado. Thomas, good morning.
Good morning, Scott. How are you?
I am well, thank you. Thank you for being with us. And again, big welcome to our viewers who are watching the program on Facebook and YouTube. They can actually see you in your home in Durango. So it's great to be able to connect with you this way to talk about the upcoming concerts this weekend, the opening of the San Juan Symphony season.
That's right. Here we go. This is the opening weekend. Energy in Action is the name of our 33rd season. We couldn't be more excited.
Very exciting. And there are concerts again tomorrow in Durango and on Sunday in Cortez.
That's right. This will be my first time going out to Cortez. At the Montezuma High School there, they bring us out, and we're looking forward to being part of their performing series as well.
Very cool. And so what have you got planned? Give us a little overview of what you've got planned for this opening concert for the San Juan Symphony.
Right. So again, in keeping with the theme of the season, which is energy and action, everyone was commenting last year and in my first 2 years about the energy that seems to be coming from the orchestra, and I wanted to showcase that this season. So we're getting that underway here this weekend with a program called Rhapsodic and Exotic. Really nice program, pieces that I think are going to be really familiar to folks, but also, introduce some new musical experiences, all under the headline of this energetic and action-packed orchestral experience. So, getting things started, the program opens with the Ruslan and Ludmilla overture of Glinka. Then we get a chance to feature our principal bassoonist, Denise Turner. She's going to play the the Andante and Hungarian Rondo of Carl Maria von Weber. And then we close the first half with music of Franz Liszt. This is his Hungarian Rhapsody number 2. So that whole first half is just so energetic, so exciting, and again, a chance to feature Denise. And then on the second half, we delve into Sibelius' Second Symphony. This is one of the most romantic, passionate, and personal symphonies of Sibelius' opus of 7 symphonies. They're all so different, but the second has a real personal connection to me. This will be maybe the 4th or 5th time I've had a chance to do this symphony, and it just is a glorious experience, both for the orchestra and the listener, to go on this journey for Sibelius II. So really an incredible blend, and the exotic quality of all these pieces, I think, will tie them together.
Very exciting. And talk to me a little bit about the soloist who's going to be performing with you this weekend with the San Juan Symphony. She's from New Mexico, correct?
That's right. University of New Mexico, bassoon faculty there. She performs all over the Southwest. She's been a part of many summer music festivals, plays with all of the orchestras in the region, as near as I can tell. She's incredibly busy, and just one of the most talented and communicative musicians I've ever worked with. When I came here a couple of years ago, I had this whole new band of musicians to get to know, and Denise just was incredibly personable, forthright. She just puts herself and her music making right out there, and it's really impressive to work with someone with that level of experience and talent. So I've been trying to feature members of our orchestra as soloists, have them step out and take the spotlight, and so we're going to be doing that for Denise this weekend. The work of Carl Maria von Weber is so interesting. He's a contemporary of Beethoven in many respects, a German composer, and he wrote this piece, the Rondo and Andante and Rondo Ungherese, while he was living in Munich, actually, writing for the the Bavarian State Opera. And while he was there, he met a bassoon player in the orchestra for whom he wrote this solo bassoon work. And Weber is very well known among woodwind players as having written great solo works. There's 2 clarinet concertos, concertos for the flute, etc. So he is near and dear to the woodwind section. So we have this piece that's very personal to Denise. We were talking about what she might play that would highlight her specific musical intent and her personality, and this was right at the top of our list. So really a fun opportunity to hear this piece. The Andante that gets it started is sort of a lament, a sort of sad quality of an aria for the bassoon, and then it moves on to this very distinct Hungarian rondo. And Hungarian music mainly can be distinguished by this short, long articulation. So yuppa, the short, long, and that pervades music of Weber, but also later composers that experimented with Hungarian styles, including Liszt, who we'll talk about in a second, the Brahms Hungarian Rhapsodies, etc. So there's Hungarian dances of Brahms. So all that yip rhythm, it tends to be the defining feature of this Hungarian style that comes from the language. In fact, it goes all the way to the music of Bartók. I played the Hungarian the big works of the Hungarian dances of Bartók as part of my senior piano recital in college. Wow. And there he takes this Hungarian music into a very complex set of dances, and yet that sort of rhythmic material remains the overarching Hungarian element. So some really interesting music of Weber for Denise Turner to play. Yes, she's one of the most interesting and wonderful people in the San Juan Symphony.
Very exciting. Well, exciting to see her featured in the concerts this weekend, of course. And is there much solo pieces for the bassoon? I don't always hear of the bassoon being featured in a symphony concert.
Exactly, yeah. And believe it or not, it's more music of Carl Maria von Weber. He was, again, a real favorite composer of that instrument. I think there's a number of other contemporary pieces, music by Latin American composers and contemporary living Americans who have had that. But in terms of the classical repertoire, Mozart and Weber are the two chosen composers.
Okay. It must have been a favorite instrument of theirs, I suppose, if they featured it so prominently. I don't know.
It's such an expressive instrument. I mean, as you know, it has this incredible range. It is the lowest of the woodwind instruments, but also can have this incredible upper tessitura that sounds such like a singing voice. So it's a wonderfully expressive instrument.
Very cool. Well, excited to hear it this weekend at the San Juan Symphony, of course. Again, the concerts are Saturday in Durango at the Community Concert Hall, of course, and then Sunday afternoon at, as Thomas said, the Cortez Montezuma High School Auditorium. And that is a special presentation with their kind of performing arts group that they have in Cortez, correct?
Which is wonderful, yeah. We are trying to, get the San Juan Symphony into all of these neighboring communities. Folks from Farmington, I would want to note, are, of course, encouraged to come to one of the performances up in Colorado. We would love to see Farmington audiences make the trip.
Right, exactly. Either one. And as far as we know, when we're talking today, tickets are still available at both venues.
So far, but they're going quickly. So.
Exactly. Don't wait till the last minute, everybody. So that's very true. And then the concerts will return for the rest of the season in Durango and Farmington. So we should let folks know, our Farmington viewers and listeners, that there will be 3 concerts in Farmington as well as in Durango for the rest of the season.
That's right. We're looking forward to it. It's going to be an incredible year. So much great repertoire.
Very good. Well, talk to me a bit about the Liszt piece that is on the concert this weekend, because we're going to play the little bit of it for our viewers and listeners this morning as well.
Good. Okay, great. So again, the concert opens with a short overture of Glinka, one of the most exciting, sort of energetic ways to start a concert. The opera is not really in favor of Ruslan and Ludmilla anymore, based on a tale of Pushkin. But actually, today the overture stands alone as one of the most often performed overtures, and it's such a little a nugget of greatness. It only lasts 4 or 5 minutes, but it's just so energetic. The themes are so memorable, and it showcases the brilliance of the orchestra. Lots of very furious string and woodwind playing, great brass chorales. It's a wonderful way to start the concert. We move from there to Denise's feature on the Andante and Rondo Ungherese of Weber, and then that Hungarian sort of exoticism persists with the music of Franz Liszt. So Liszt, very seminal composer of the 19th century. There was, of course, surrounding Liszt as the concert pianist, what historians now refer to as Listomania. He was such a popular performer as a concert pianist that he just took over the public imagination for what was possible on the piano. And the Hungarian Rhapsodies, he composed a dozen or more of them, and they're all meant to, showcase sort of his brilliance as a pianist, but also what he considered his most important personal heritage, this Hungarian heritage that he claimed, even though he was very much in the German and Western European mindset and culture. So he has this Hungarian-ness about him that he wants to showcase. And so in the second Hungarian Rhapsody, he begins with a very slow, again, short, long, do, this very sort of spoken, pedantic Hungarian melody, and from there it goes into a series of very quick melodies in the second part. I believe it's called a friska in Hungarian, which is a nice, it sounds like frisky. This friskiness, the energy and the speed, the acceleratingness of this music makes it incredibly exciting. Played by the solo piano, it is definitely a virtuosic showcase. And the orchestrators, there's several orchestrations of this piece, the orchestrators try to capitalize on that by making every instrument as busy as possible. So really the strings are constantly doing all of this ornamenting and sort of coloristic writing. The winds and brass have these incredibly busy and virtuosic parts, lots of percussion, beautiful harp parts. So there's a lot in this score that brings out the sort of flashy character of this Hungarian dance. It should be noted that probably everyone will recognize those Friska dance melodies because in the 1940s especially, cartoon makers seized on the immediacy and the silliness of the music and put it into cartoons. So you'll know the Bugs Bunny, you'll know the Tom and Jerry. Some of my younger colleagues might remember the Animaniacs. It even was featured in the Marx Brothers film. So really, it has been used as a piece of comic music, even though it starts out on a very serious note and was intended as a serious piece of music. Nevertheless, it has been used in this comic genre brilliantly, I should add. There's some great mashups on YouTube that everybody needs to go find. So, Franz Liszt's Second Hungarian Rhapsody.
All right, we'll listen to it here, Thomas, for just a few minutes. Thank you very much, and we'll be back and talking with you more about this weekend's concerts in just a moment.
Thank you.
A little bit of music there from the upcoming San Juan Symphony concert here on KSJE on our Friday Spotlight program. I'm Scott Michlin, and I'm speaking with Thomas Heuser, the music director, of course, of the San Juan Symphony. He is joining us via Skype from his home in Durango, Colorado. And there's a lot going on in that piece, Thomas Heuser. You weren't kidding, were you?
That's right. That's Liszt's second Hungarian Rhapsody. Scott, you cut it off with the last minute to go there.
I'm sorry.
It's a perfect teaser because
everybody
remembers it. It ends with a bang. You know, it is, yeah, like you said, there's a lot going on. Liszt's whole geist was to be as showy and flashy as he could on the piano, and so the orchestrators took that to the next level with the orchestration. It's very busy, very flashy, really gives the whole orchestra a chance to shine. It's going to be so fun. I can't wait.
Very good. I made the worst error that anyone can make, not look at my conductor when a piece of music is playing to get the cue as to when to start talking. So yeah, my apologies.
No problem. I think that's perfect. You know, again, the opening intensity of it is really what is the most distinctly Hungarian of it. The rest of it, yes, it might be sort of a friska, a dance, but it's more than anything else just a showpiece. And Liszt was really writing music for himself as the showman. So.
Right, and so that is one of the pieces that we'll be hearing, and of course you've mentioned some of the other ones. The great soloist, who is the bassoon player with the symphony, will be performing on stage as well, and it just gives us kind of a preview of the rest of the season that you have in store for us, right?
Absolutely. Well, I would love to hit on this Sibelius Symphony, the second half. Just to quickly say that, you know, what is lighthearted and cute on the first half of the program becomes intense, romantic, and at times overwhelming on the second half. The Second Symphony of Sibelius is a journey. It is sort of an epic journey that takes us on a kind of a tour of the Finnish landscape. There is no program for this symphony in the way that many in the 19th century had, but there was, the 20th century actually. Sibelius grew up in the late 19th century, came of age at that time, but then this symphony dates from the early years of the 20th century, and it is a piece of music in and of itself. Sibelius did not provide a programmatic element. There's no title to the symphony, but it does give the sense of the sort of broad Finnish landscape that was Sibelius's home. Sibelius is known through Finlandia and other works of his as a composer of Finnish nationalism and really the father of Finnish music. And as this program is rhapsodic and exotic, of course, we have the rhapsodies of Weber and list, but the exotic component really comes through here in the Sibelius. It is a dark and brooding work at the first and second movement that then delivers this unbelievably energetic scherzo movement segueing into a powerful finale. So the work as a whole really packs a punch. It's an incredible, like I said, a journey from sort of darkness to light in many ways that showcases the brilliance of Sibelius. He is one of the most respected symphonists of the 20th century, just an incredibly important composer. So that's also on the docket for this weekend. Can't wait to present Sibelius.
Okay, well, we're looking forward to hearing all of it, of course, on the stage at the Community Concert Hall in Durango on Saturday evening, and then on stage at Cortez Montezuma High School on Sunday afternoon. And for the musicians of the San Juan Symphony, Thomas Heuser, how big of a symphony will we be hearing this weekend?
Yes, so I would say Sibelius is a composer that requires a lot of preparation, a lot of attention to detail. There's a lot of transitions and various styles that come at you pretty quickly, so they've had to be really on their toes. And as the season goes on, that's kind of my goal, is to delve into these larger scale symphonies. We'll be playing Brahms next time in Durango and Farmington, the First Symphony of Brahms. Also then to close the season, the First Symphony of Gustav Mahler, which has another whole level of complexity and intensity that mirrors in many ways the Sibelius style. So much to look forward to. The musicians are chomping at the bit, and I think the action and energy on stage will be palpable.
All right, very good. Before we run out of time, Thomas Heuser, let's get some business out of the way. Tickets are available, I know, on the Symphony website, correct?
Please visit, sanjuansymphony.org. There you can buy tickets for the concerts in Cortez and in Durango. And the concerts in Durango are also available at durangoconcerts.com. That's the website for the Community Concert Hall here.
All right, very good. Well, Thomas Heuser, as always, we appreciate your insights into the symphony concerts this weekend, and I know you'll be back with us, I think, before every concert this season, which we appreciate your time commitment for that as well.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, KSGE. So appreciate the chance to talk to you.
You bet. Very good. Thank you, Thomas. That's Thomas Heuser, the music director of the San Juan Symphony, my guest here on our Friday Spotlight program on KSJE.